Quote, there's no involvement at all. Can't be involved with this. This is this man's livelihood. This is much bigger than me. Being a free agent is one of the most important times in your career. That can't be swayed by anyone else. Nothing can happen right now. I don't think he can make a decision on opting out until the 29th. So I'll just let things play out and see what happens. All right, Stephen A. If Kyrie leaves, should KD want out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason that I feel that way, Kendrick Perkins, is because he never should have been there to begin with. He was going to the Garden. Then he ends up going to Brooklyn because of Kyrie. At the very least, Dolan would have helped him become a billionaire. Not that he's not on his way there anyway, but definitely if Dolan knows how to do one thing, it's going to get you, you're going to get some money being with the New York Knicks organization off the court. You definitely going to get that. New York is the brand. We all understand that. This is why Dolan gets away with being the pathetic owner that he is. This is why he gets away with what he gets away with, because the fans are still going to pack the Garden, and Nick brand is still worth billions. And as a result, he knows that the money is still going to come funneling in. He recognizes that, and that Kevin Durant, as far as I'm concerned, made a big mistake by not going. If you're going to go to New York, go to the Knicks. Now, I'm not here to celebrate the Knicks in any way. I'm disgusted with what I'm seeing. I'm not confident about it right now, the whole bit. But in all seriousness, I would tell you here's the #1 reason why as well. Because Kevin Durant, you got to go someplace where there is leadership. You see, Sean Marks was never, what was his executive record before he arrived in Brooklyn? I like Sean Marks a lot. I'm very fond of him, okay? Steve Nash never coached. Joe Tsai is a relatively new owner to the scene, okay? So again, you got newness all over the place and no culture. No culture where there's a foundation upon which you can stand and you have to breed and build off of. When I think about Kevin Durant and you say Miami, Miami's the perfect situation for him culture-wise. Why? Because Pat Riley runs the damn show. And Eric Spoelstra is his dude no matter what anybody says. And the rules and the culture and the standard that exists there, no one, not even the great LeBron James, is rattling that. That's what they stand on. And that is the kind of environment that is perfect for Kevin Durant, because clearly, like for example, look at what his quote just said, y'all. How could you think you don't have a right to have an opinion? How could you have nothing to say? Yes, it is about Kyrie's life, but it's also about yours. It's about your teammates. It's about your coach. It's about your organization that you are the face of and you represent. Everything that happens is relevant to you. So for you to have this attitude that you have absolutely nothing to say, no, Kevin Durant, like it or not, you are the face of the franchise. Listen, you're the best. You're elite. It comes with a responsibility, and he doesn't seem to want that. In Miami, he wouldn't have to have that. He would just have to play.
I agree. And the question was what, Molly?
If Kyrie leaves, should KD want out?
I think he should want out regardless. I think he should get far away from Kyrie Irving as possible. Even if he opts in, I think Kevin Durant should give him a taste of his own medicine and go about it his way. Because, look, I keep talking about this. When it comes down to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant coming to Brooklyn when they did, what was it, July the 4th, they made the decision in 2016, I believe it was, or 2017, one of those years. KD has been the most consistent. He's been the most, far as a guy committed.
Yeah.
And he's been the best thing that has happened to this organization. And when you see the organization not giving you the same energy, you see your quote-unquote brother not giving you the same energy. See, let me tell you something about the quote-unquote brotherhood of the NBA. See, the brotherhood is a type of deal where guys only want to preach it when it's convenient for them. You see what I'm saying? Or they could benefit from it. Oh, that's my brother right there when it's time for them to benefit from it. But if it's the other way around, then all of a sudden, you know what? Oh, no, he's not part of the brotherhood. That's why, you know, when they talk this brotherhood for us in the NBA and things to that nature, sometimes I listen to it, sometimes I be sitting back saying, you a damn lie. And the truth ain't nowhere near you when they talk about the brotherhood. So when I look at this situation, if I'm KD, I want out regardless if Kyrie stays or if he leaves.
It's interesting. When you watch, first of all, it's amazing that, and I don't blame KD for not saying this, Kyrie has betrayed him. Totally betrayed him. You coaxed him into coming to Brooklyn with you. You his brother. You riding with him 1,000% until you don't want to, for whatever reason that may be. And you left him hanging. Because you and I both know, you know this better than me because you're a former teammate of KD. KD ain't trying to have no drama.
No.
He might clap back on Twitter, whatever. But he just wanted, like he says on his Twitter account, I'm me. I'm just trying to be chill and all this other, whatever the hell else he says. The point that I'm trying to make to you is all he wants to do is play. And he don't want to deal with none of this other stuff. But Kyrie forces him to because of his actions. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.